name is John,
My name is Mike.
and welcome to
Bubble
Dumb Podcast.
So for today's episode, this is our very first time ever trying to do this. So, please bear with us. We're doing this all raw.
We're raw dogging.
Raw dogging. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, should we say that?
Hey man, this isn't for kids. Man. That's all I'm gonna
That's
say.
true. So we will be using certain words that may not be pleasant to certain viewers that in certain ages. But
viewer discretion advised.
Viewer discretion is fine. There we go. We have that. If we should make that into a title or something like bam. But today's episode we'll be discussing literally Olive Garden.
Yeah, is it fancy or is it trashy?
And we'll just be talking literally about that and just welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
And thank you for joining us today.
I guess before we begin, we should probably start asking ourselves, like, how did we come up with this conversation? Like, what was it that, led us to this topic?
Lettuce. I don't know why.
Lettuce.
No. It's like lettuce to this
Lettuce,
topic.
yeah, lettuce.
Hey, they do have salads at Olive Garden.
They're pretty good. I actually like them.
Nerd. No, I'm just kidding. Who eats vegetables? Put in the comments right there. Who eats vegetables? Really? Let's get there. Right? Yeah, this guy. That's why this guy's a hunk, man.
Man, I'm not a hunk.
Chiseled hunk. But anyways.
Freaking rabbit.
I think we're just thinking about because the podcast that we're be introducing here and everything, right? It's just gonna be silly, conversations that I think everyone's always had.
Yeah, no, very true. But
I
was thinking more like we came up with this. I can't remember exactly how we came up with this conversation. I think it was like one time. I think we were calling on the phone and I think it was a friend of ours that you used to hang out with a lot brought it up because they had sisters that thought Olive Garden.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. Okay. Yeah. So it's always a question is for dating, is Olive Garden a fancy place to take an individual for dating, right?
Exactly.
Or is it as you said, a trashy place? And would you like to go first, or would you like me?
I think you should go first.
So my opinion about Olive Garden is it is hella expensive. I don't care what anybody says. The all-ending, what's it called, pasta bowl, right?
Something like that.
I've never been to one of those. I swear every time they advertise it never exists around at least my location. I'm always spending, a chunk of change, man, when I go there at any sort of date or event or just hanging out, quite honestly. I wish there was just a way to just eat the unlimited breadsticks and then, as you said, the salad. I just crank in that cheese. But I think it's hella expensive.
I was going to say, I kind of think the same thing too, but some people would disagree. And we're talking about it. You know who they are.
Looking at you.
Yeah, looking at you.
You know what we're talking
It's
about.
not the camera.
We can't say names for legal purposes.
You're the asshole of the day.
The first cuss word of the date there too. But yeah, no. I think it just really depends on the individual. I've only had a few individuals who, when I said, "Hey, do you want to go to Olive Garden for a date or something?" They looked at me and say, "You don't appreciate me," or any sort of thing.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, oh, fuck, man, damn. No, I appreciate you. I was just like, it's a really nice place, I've never had a problem over there, right?
Neither have I.
I think the only thing I kind of question is, but it feels like every restaurant now more than ever is the quantity.
Oh.
Yeah,
I was. Actually, the quantity ain't too bad though. I don't know.
You think so?
Yeah, I feel like I can get full on it.
Well, I haven't been there for years because
yeah, I know.
Because it's too trashy.
Too trash.
It's not fancy enough.
It's I've been to other restaurants, right, where it's the food is hella more expensive, but all they give you is just I don't know, a fist size of food.
Okay. So you say Olive Garden is a good place to take somebody.
Yeah, it's a good place, and I would say it fills me up too, man. That's what I go out to eat,
Okay.
It's a little selfish on my part too, I'm not really thinking about the other person. It's I gotta fill my tummy up,
Damn straight, man. It's all about you, man. Screw the person you bring out on the date with. Yeah. Goddamn, John. Dude, this guy's a dog, man. Damn. But here's the other question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Olive Garden is a place where you have to dress up? And when I mean dressed up, you know what I'm talking about, like, you know, button down shirt, full sleeve tie.
That's actually a good question. Actually, I
You
never
know?
really thought about that because, like, I'm actually gonna say no, but then again, that really does put in things into perspective, right? Like, is it fancy if you don't have to dress
See,
up?
does that make it fancy? That's what I'm saying. Like, does a place that, like, you know, for any joint that you go to,
Yeah.
right? If you dress up, does that make that place fancy?
Oh, that's a finger right there.
I know.
Holy cow! I'm gonna say no. Actually, I was gonna say it's more like the quality of food. I don't know.
Quality of food and
Yeah.
everything?
Yeah, but also I guess what would make something really really fancy is that you gotta have a reservation. You know, that's the.
Well, you can make reservations though.
Well, I guess it is pretty fancy.
I told you this guy on longest man. I mean, it's been years for me too. I think last time we went together, it was just a group of friends, and we didn't dress up or anything.
No,
and we all
yeah.
filled up on breadsticks
Oh yeah.
because we were just all hungry.
Yeah.
I remember that, and they asked us, "What do you want?" And we're like, I don't know anymore.
See, I don't remember actually. It's funny. I don't remember ordering anything that day.
Maybe I think some of you didn't actually, and then all of us, like some others, I was like, "Oh great, we have to order something man because we ate all these breadsticks." And they were looking at all of us, man. They put us in the back room too. Remember that?
Oh.
Yeah. There's no one else there.
Unironically, not the first time.
So I wonder-
the first restaurant.
You know, I wonder if they put trashy people in certain spots in the restaurant. you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, we're disruptive. I guess we could be
But,
called disruptive
yes, I
because
guess,
you know we're all
yeah.
dudes, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are hooligans, you know, from the peanut gallery.
That's a new one.
Oh,
Damn straight.
Oh, I was gonna say it's not really a new one, is it? Like that term is like what old people say. Like I don't know why. Like there was like an old guy in my high school, right? I'm not gonna say his name, but like
For legal purposes.
for legal
yeah.
purposes, because you know we could be talking about you.
And you know who you are.
But like, I mean, anyways, he was old and confused. I'm just gonna say that in high school, and like because of that, like no one took it serious. It was just making noises, and like the guy was like, "Hey, I don't need this from the peanut gallery, all right?" like everyone just
Dude, it
thought
feels
that,
like that's a racial term. I don't know why that feels like more like a racial term, dude. I don't need this from the peanut gallery. I'm like,
everyone just stopped and looked at it. It was like peanut gallery. Yeah, it's the front row seat. You know, you take your peanuts and you throw at the screen. You know.
Oh, I was like, well, I'm a cashew man. Since I'm still a peanut.
I guess that's for another day.
Another day.
Yeah, another topic.
What kind of nuts do you like? But anyways, you know, going back to you know what we're talking about for today's you know episode, the pilot. We're calling this the pilot
Yeah,
as well.
pilot. It's got no
You know,
title.
it's a raw dog, and as my boy said, raw dog. You know. But yeah, going back to the question though, like, so in order for a place to be fancy and everything, so in your opinion, you said it has to have reservations.
Yeah.
Okay, Olive Garden does have reservations,
Does
right?
actually, yeah,
okay,
it's been
okay.
a
You
while.
can
Yeah,
make
you
it
can make
right.
a reservation,
But you can
right.
just go in. You know, it's one
Yeah.
of those restaurants.
Yeah.
Now, here's the question, right?
Yeah.
In order to be fancy, then what I'm hearing, right, is you can only make reservations. That's the only way you can go into the restaurant.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that makes a place fancy versus trashy?
I'm gonna say yeah, but to be honest with you, with our salaries, we're never getting into
Poor? Poor as hell?
I was gonna say not just that. I was gonna say
Broke
I was gonna
college
say-
students, graduate. Well, you know, we'll talk about that another time. But you know, but this guy was responsible. We'll talk about that another time.
Nah, I don't want to say that responsible. Like I'm still broke as shit.
But
And I'm an accountant too. That's the bad thing, you know.
the
so-
irony, right?
The irony.
But that would be for another discussion about college, right?
Yeah.
You know, and education. But you know, so going back to what you were saying, though, finishing what you were saying.
Oh,
So
yeah.
reservations.
Yeah, but like it does make a fancy place. But I was gonna say like I don't even think like middle class people are getting into that one, man. You know.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking like you need like not just like a lot of money, but you need like a little bit of what's the word, reputation to get into those.
All right, so the reservations and
Yeah.
everything. So you're saying that Olive Garden is kind of not like that at all,
Nah, I
or
would
it's
not
not. It's
say-
not even like that. At
I
all.
wouldn't say it's super fancy, but
Okay.
it'd be a stretch calling it trashy though. I don't know, like. I
What
wouldn't-
you actually call? You would actually call Olive Garden trashy.
I wouldn't. I said it'd be
Yeah.
a stretch if you were to call it trashy because I was like,
So what do you think makes a place trashy though? That's the one thing I never understood with you know a couple people that said like you know Olive Garden is trashy. Why are you taking me there? Right? Do not appreciate.
I think so.
You know.
My opinion, I could be. It's just my opinion, but I think what makes something what they would consider trashy is I think it's probably because it's like part of a chain or a franchise. You know,
Ooh.
there's many of those around. You know.
Yeah, but there's a lot of fancy places that have like some chains.
No, that's
oh,
true.
but not as many. I see what
Yeah,
you're talking about. Not as
so
many,
not as
like you know,
many.
yeah,
Not as
yeah,
many.
yeah.
That's what I
Like
usually
Gordon
do.
Ramsay stuff?
Yeah, like not,
Yeah.
not many of those,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's true. No, also, I would never go to one of those, man. I've seen
Yeah.
those bills. My God, no. No, not today, not ever, man. Gordon Ramsay, if you want to cook me something, you know, you got to cook me something. I ain't go to your restaurant, man. I'm sorry, that's
I
just
was
too much
gonna
money,
say,
man.
you gotta be for free. You know?
we love free stuff, you know.
Yeah, we could sponsor it. We could sponsor
Hey!
it. Yeah, we got that
Yeah.
sponsorship. You know? We always say good things about the food. You know? Like,
I think you're required to, actually. If
Okay.
somebody sponsors you, I think you're required to say stuff that's good. I swear that's how it goes.
I was gonna say we're
You
gonna
know?
be totally unbiased. Like it's like what
And they're like, why do we sponsor you? It's like, oh, is that how it works? But that's why we're called Bubble Dumb. But that's an interesting part. So I think for me, right, to make it fancy, I think any place can be fancy, quite honestly. It just kind of depends on your mindset.
that is
You
true.
know, like, look, I think, I mean, yeah, when you go to fast food joints,
Yeah.
you know,
They're out here like.
here we go. Here's an interesting thing. I'll bring this up.
Alright.
It's really funny to me when you go to a fast food joint, right, versus a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Is people expect top quality, perfect service at fast food. So does that make that individual think that place is fancy? Because you know when you think about fancy, right, you think
Yeah,
about
I
more.
know.
I'm not saying fast food joints in any sort of place is not professional in any sort of way, but you have those, you know, like those assholes, right? You know, it's like, where's my ranch dressing? I need some extra. You put pickles in this, and I didn't ask for pickles. I asked for extra pickles. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
So, like, do you think fancy also has, like, kind of like a certain tier of like professionalism and everything?
I'm gonna say yeah. I think maybe our fancy, the bare minimum has a waiter in it, right?
Yeah. So you said
it's
that.
at least got a waiter in it.
See, okay, so now we're going back, right?
Yeah.
So fancy, right? For Olive Garden, because we're talking about Olive Garden, right?
Yeah.
Kind of sidetrapping as we always do, sidetrapping, sidetracking.
Sidetracking, yeah.
I like that. That's me, my thing. Point. So Olive Garden can be fancy, and then also it can be. It really depends on the person.
Yeah, it really depends, but I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, go for it, go
If
for
they
it.
think it's trashy, they're probably a little bit of a stuck-up bitch.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I would say that. We know what we're talking about.
Yeah, they know.
Because,
And, we could talk about many other people too, but if they think they have a hunch, we're talking shit about you.
See, I think fancy, truthfully, comes down to, for me, if you're spending over $100, right?
by
I'm
yourself.
gonna call that place fancy, man. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it's only like 2 entrees. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like
2 entrees.
unless we go like to Taco Bell sponsor me. I love you guys. But like you know what I'm talking about? Like if you're like because when you go to a fast food joint,
Yeah.
another topic, another day we'll talk about fast food, right? You know how questionable it is now, for pricing. But if you're spending over $100, I think that place is fancy.
Yeah, I kind
You
of want
know.
to say that too. Like,
Now, I think it just depends on the person, how they
Yeah.
feel and how kind of they want to respect that certain place, right? So for
Yeah.
Olive Garden, right, it depends. So if I'm going on a date, right, I think I would dress up a little bit more, maybe, just depending on how the other is feeling too, right?
yeah.
I would actually kind of ask, are you going in, like, are we going to dress up, because it is a restaurant, we're just going to go in just wearing like our normal street clothes and everything.
Yeah.
So what about you, man?
I mean, I kind of still would wear normal street clothes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll probably have my shirt tucked in. That's probably
That shirt tucked in,
Yeah.
wow, man, that is a gentleman. It's just, what kind of shirt you wearing? What kind of shirt you wearing, man? Tuck it in.
Hold on, let me show you the shirt I'm wearing right now. actually.
Oh, this is free. This is free, ladies and gents. Woo! Look at that. I think they can send a little bit.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
Unicorn with a T-Rex tucked in.
Tucked in, purple, very bright too. Just going in.
It's bold, It's bold, flamboyant, and it says, "I don't blend in with shit. I just
Yeah.
say, why doesn't the world try to blend in with me?"
I like that. That's right. This guy doesn't give no fuck attitude, man. And also,
I mean, I have to be a kiss up at work, but that's for another reason.
I just love how you're tucking still in your shirt, man. To
Yeah.
show a little bit of professionalism
Yeah.
and courteousness.
Exactly.
So I guess my last question I was thinking of, I totally forgot this. Olive Garden in their advertising,
Yeah.
right? Is always showing kind of family too. Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think actually a family kind of restaurant actually kind of make it like more trashy or fancy?
There's nothing trashy about a family. Well, I mean, actually, no. I take.
Is
that
there?
back.
Comment below, please.
I do take that back a bit. Some families are kind of trashy, but I was gonna say that doesn't.
We don't
make-
judge. We only love.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't make it like necessarily trashy. I don't know, like.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I mean, like, I don't know. I guess getting sidetracked again. I was gonna say like places like what Dave and Buster's are like this sometimes advertised as family oriented, but like.
It's always interesting for Dave and Buster. We'll keep that one on like for like another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're talking about the food section.
Yeah.
I don't think if we're talking about Dave and Buster's versus Chuck E. Cheese, right? I don't think those are fancy places because those are places you play games, right?
No, I know.
But the food, you know what? I think that's another question you actually made me think of is, does fancy also have to be kind of the food presentation? I totally forgot about that because you're talking about Dave and Buster's, right?
Oh yeah.
Food presentation, how they always advertise it, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, right? You see it like perfect, right?
I was gonna say.
And also the pricing. That's the other thing we never talked about. We talked about the bill at the end, but what about the pricing? If it's high dollar, like a burger, right? I can go to McDonald's. I mean, McDonald's is not cheap anymore, but back in the day, back in my day, it was like a dollar.
Their Big Mac is just like a patty with a lot of lettuce on it.
McDonald's.
You gotta step up your game here, man.
Come on, man.
That burger looks.
I still love your sauce though.
That burger looks nothing like what's promised on TV, man.
Well, I still love your sauce though. I love the Big Mac sauce. Pour it on me. But yeah, no, that's the question though. Like, do you think that the price of food would make a certain place fancy, categorized as fancy, and also I think fancy would actually be presentation a little bit.
Yeah, it would. I'd say maybe presentation too. I wouldn't always say if the food is good now that I'm really thinking about it. I only say that because like I remember like I don't know like man I can't believe I'm gonna say this but like like I remember seeing like some celebrities take photos of like them like or like take like them eating but like at a restaurant but they never eat the food. And I'm pretty sure if you watch shows like what Keeping Up with the Kardashians and shit like that.
I do not. Just FYI, I do not.
Like.
Just want to say that right now.
I might have watched an episode or two.
He loves it.
But anyways, that I guess like you'll notice like a fancy plate of food, but they
Yeah.
never touch the food. You never noticed that. Like it doesn't have.
I
to
don't
be,
watch Kardashians,
No,
man.
it
so
doesn't have to
that-
be with that one. It has to be like other shows.
so you're talking about like
They're
when they
like-
go to a restaurant?
They never touch the food. They order something fancy, but they don't touch the food. So I mean,
Oh, I didn't read it.
it's. I mean, that's the kind of thing I notice sometimes. They just drink like what, like white wine or some shit like that.
I don't
Some
drink
weird-
wine. Wine sucks.
I don't.
I don't do that point.
I barely drink, man. I think last time I drank was what, like.
Well, we'll keep that for another story. That's a good story for another time.
Okay.
Drinking responsible question mark. But okay, so to finish off what you're saying though, like so.
Like it's presented, the food's presented well, but they don't necessarily. Right, is it? They never eat it, but is it? Well, could it be because it tastes good? I don't know. Or is it because like Hollywood has that weird like fitness standards where you have to look like
Yeah, you have to look good and everything.
You have to
Okay,
look good
okay.
and everything, so you don't eat the food.
Mm.
But that's the thing. But it
So
kinda,
would that be fancy though? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, well, I guess because a celebrity is there, it would make it.
It would make it fancy.
Yeah.
Okay, so if a celebrity would advertise the
Yeah,
joint,
or if
do you
they-
think that automatically makes it like an A-list kind of place?
Yeah, at least definitely knocks it up from a C list,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it kind of that's interesting because
But I will say also it does
Okay.
depend on the celebrity, like you keep it to like a comedian no one really knows or like like,
that sort of depends on the tier.
yeah, that's
So if you're a Kardashian, you make everything shit gold.
and if you're
essentially.
Steven Seagal, you make it an S tier,
I still love you, Steve. I want your autograph. Please.
I love when you fight Mike Tyson. That was honestly a really great scene. I'm not
I
gonna
love
lie.
that. He
Yeah.
showed it to me. Loved it.
I also love Mike Tyson. I also like when the wood like just clumps your head. I don't know why. It was beautiful.
But go back to full circle, right?
Of course. Shit, we did it again.
I let Tucker be like, shit, we did it again. All right, so to coming back, right? So in order to make something fancy, right? I think, tell me if you disagree. So we have the bill,
The bill, yeah.
right? A-list celebrities, right?
Yeah.
Either endorsing or going to it, right?
Yeah.
I totally agree. I totally forgot about that. Reservations. We talked about. We talked about the cost of the, like per food or per plate, whatever you want to say, right?
Yeah.
The entree, the appetizers.
Yeah.
And I think I'm missing, what was the other one we were talking
I
about?
think it's like how the food is presented.
Or presented, right?
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. That's what I would come down
So
to.
from those 5 that we talked about, right? Because I think we're reaching kind of like the climax conclusion of
Yeah.
today's podcast of going back to Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Is it?
Fancy or trashy?
So from those 5 that we listed, and please, if you have any other comments or any thoughts, posted. Love to read them. You know, about the Olive Garden, you know,
Yeah.
experiences, you know, you ever had, if it's fancy or trashy. But from those 5 that we talked about, you know, those 5, would you say Olive Garden is fancy or trashy then?
I'd say fancy, yeah.
You say fancy?
Yeah, I'd say fancy.
So you're saying fancy now?
Yeah, I'd still say fancy. I don't know, like, I guess my
So you gotta dress up now.
yeah, I guess I gotta dress up. Like,
Dang, I did not expect this. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, no more of this. But then again, this.
But he's gonna tuck that shirt in every
Yeah,
time.
I'm gonna have
you
it.
know?
I'm gonna have it under the dress clothes. You know,
Yeah.
like, it's gonna be like Superman when you're calling. I just rip it out. You know.
It's got your butt.
Nah, it's just hair, man. You know, like,
Hey man.
hey man, I'm not mysterious. You know, like I hear
Nope.
Sasquatch is taking a photo of me. So.
You were actually that video,
Yeah.
the pictures and everything. Nice.
I remember that.
So you think it's fancy now? Interesting.
Oh, you think it's trashy now?
I don't see. I think like I would never call a place. I wouldn't. No, that's not true. I've called places trashy. I wouldn't call Olive Garden, quite honestly, trashy or fancy.
I mean,
you know.
I know what you mean. It's not black. This isn't.
No,
like
it's
black
just
and
it's
white.
just we brought it in, like the
Yeah.
conversation is because when I went on like a few dates with certain individuals, right, and I said, hey, you want to go to Olive Garden? They were just like, what are you taking me to them, man? I don't know why I'm speaking like that.
I think we know why.
It's a bad impression,
I think we do know why.
but they were like, that place is not fancy. You don't love me, or you don't like me, whatever you want to say.
It's like,
I think it really depends on the company you go with, right?
yeah, also.
So I don't think Olive Garden is necessarily the place where you need to dress up. I think you have a big party or something, like a big group, you can go in without one,
I would
without a
say-
reservation, or you can make a reservation.
If it's Mother's Day, you should probably dress up.
He's pinky up. You'll see why. Look at the pic. Look at the pic. He loves moms.
Moms, yeah, Ministry of Magic. Nah, just kidding. I don't watch
I did
that.
not think that was really clever when he said that. I love that.
I'm not a Harry Potter fan, to be
He
honest.
doesn't mean that. He loves Harry Potter. Everyone loves Harry Potter. He doesn't mean that. He
I
doesn't
mean,
mean
like,
that.
I've seen
I've seen the episode.
Yeah, I was gonna
when
say.
you watch it, when you watch it, what are you watching, man?
Like 1 through 3, I guess.
1, 2, 3, the episode. But anyways, going back, right? I think, truthfully, it just depends on the company you're with.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily to make a big deal about it. I think if you go to a place, with somebody you care or you enjoy to be with, I don't think it matters what kind of clothing you wear, right?
That's
You
very
talk.
key.
Communication is the key part, right?
Yeah.
But don't bitch if you're getting your meal paid for.
Oh, if
You
you're
know?
getting your
yeah,
meal
that's
paid
just
for,
it. That's just
that-
it. If it's a free meal, and it's like a good place,
Pretty nice place, I'd say. I
then
mean,
I would say that.
yeah, no, I got you. I mean, I still said fancy. I don't know. I kind of noticed, and this is probably going to be the thing with a lot of our conversation. It's probably going to be like not so much a black and white. It's probably going to be like a gray area. But although this is the box. This is white. This is black right in the middle. I'm still going a little bit to a darker gray, so which is why it was like a little fancy.
A little fancy,
Yeah.
okay. So it kind of changed your perspective.
Yeah, it
a little
does.
bit.
It has. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Because you said trashy first.
By the way, the person they're talking about is me.
Yeah, this guy bitched about me. Just kidding. But
Hey, we're only getting married for tax purposes, right?
I don't think you should have said that, man. I think they're going to come after us. I don't know what organization they test.
The IRS, I don't know.
The IRS. Were you fraudulent in what you said? Maybe. Maybe.
I don't know.
We neither
That's
deny.
right.
It's just all hypotheticals here.
I plead
really.
the fifth.
It's kind of too late because you already announced it,
I was
man.
gonna say, I heard if you plead the fifth, actually, it just makes you look guilty. That's what I heard. I don't know.
That's sort of true.
I was
But
like,
that would be for another time, another discussion, a little bit. That's actually an interesting discussion. But anyways, to come back full circle one last time. So you're saying a little bit more fancy,
yeah,
right?
a little bit more fancy.
And I'm just saying it just really depends. So I guess my downright thing is any place you go, always be respectful,
Yeah.
right? Don't be trashy. I like that.
Yeah,
you know?
don't be a Karen.
So
Nobody
be
likes-
fancy in your personality. Don't be
Oh.
trashy. Don't be a Karen.
Yeah, don't be a Karen.
You know?
Nobody likes a Karen. Yeah.
You know?
Sorry, Karens. It's just how it is, you know.
They
Yeah.
chose that name. They chose the name. They knew what they were doing.
Well, actually, your mama chose that name. She knew what you were gonna be like. You know.
They knew.
They knew all along.
But yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that concludes it, right? Yeah.
For the first episode.
Yeah. So I guess.
Do you want me to go or do you want to go?
How do we wrap this up again? Like.
Oh yeah, I would just say again, welcome to Bubble
Bubble
Dumb
podcast.
podcast, and we'll be trying. Kind of new. We're kind of new to this whole field of YouTube.
Yeah.
We try to do at least like 3 videos per month.
I'd say so.
We'll try our best. We do have personal lives and everything.
Yeah, our lives are, I mean, it's a little miserable, but we do have lives. Yeah, gotta lie.
But we're still keeping our head up.
Yep.
A
Way high.
little bit of tears. But
If you
again,
don't, life goes on. Yeah.
But again, thank you to the people who are watching. If you do like the content, as always, what they say, like link, link, yeah, like, subscribe, and push that bell button. I'm horrible at that.
Yeah.
And I promise you all, you're gonna have a great time. You're gonna love us. You're gonna hate us, but you're gonna love us.
It's okay to hate us. You don't have to love us, but just.
No, you're gonna love us.
I was
Let's
gonna
get real.
say,
You're not gonna hate me.
I was gonna.
You might hate him, but you're not gonna hate me.
Love or hate us, man. Just tune in, man. Put your thoughts into it, man. You want to talk shit? We'll talk shit too. Actually, can we do that?
You already said it, so I guess it's already on, man. I guess we're doing it.
Yeah.
But this is literally just an idea we had, and we always wanted to do this. It's been part of a bucket list, and just thank you so much for viewing. And again, welcome to the Bubble.
Dumb podcast.
Bye.
Bye-bye.